Hey, I'm Alex Corral, owner of CabinetCoatingKingsDallas, Virginia, and Orlando, and co-owner of Cabinet Coating Kings University.
What's up, guys? Aiden Smith, owner of Paint Pro Coaching and co-owner of Cabinet Coating Kings University. All right, Alex, what made you start Cabinet Coating Kings? Now with 3 locations, doing X million dollars a year, whatever it is, what made you originally get started?
Yeah, so I was at first I owned restaurants and nightclubs. So really successful. Pretty lost in that crowd and in that environment. I realized I did not want to be a part of that scene. So I did a really tough transition, and just left it. I was like, I have faith in myself. I know I don't need to be doing this. This isn't gonna lead me to being a good father. Being a good person. So, I literally just gave up everything that I worked for and building those restaurants and nightclubs, and just started fresh. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea. I just left. I'm like, I'm leaving. I know I'll figure it out. Right. So then I was actually going to hop on to do a really great sales position, 100K plus commission. And in between, my buddy Tanner, who some of you might know is from Drip Jobs, he was like, hey, my buddy owns this cabinet refinishing company and he's looking for someone to help him out. Why don't you help him out until you start your job? So
That's interesting.
yeah, so in that month when I was helping him, I saw the strategic process of, wow, this is a big money maker. No one's really doing this. And I know with me and him, we can build this. He was doing 2 jobs a week, but I saw that he was making 60-70% off every job. I'm like, dude, let's go into this. So I actually told the company I'm not coming to them anymore. Just gave up 100K plus commission. I worked for $750 a week, building this company with my friend, and then became more of a partner. Where when I started, it was 2 jobs a week maybe, and in 6 months we were doing 5. 6 jobs a week. And then I was the one who developed the operating system and then the management system and the sales system. So I built that in a way that worked. And I built the culture, the guys. I figured out how to get these human beings, the workers, to love what they do. Right now, I bet you're gonna ask, why did I leave that company?
Yeah, definitely. What made you say, okay, I want to do this for myself, I want to build my own business, and obviously we're at the point where we are now. What made you dive into that?
So it was actually, I honestly would have never left if the owner of the company wasn't so selfish, and not literally, and greedy and needy to be so controlling. He was so controlling. No one wanted to be around him, right? And he gave me space because me and him had a relationship, and I'm like, you don't be that way with me.
Sure.
But there was a point where he started getting fearful or whatever, I don't know, and then he started trying to control me. And there was a time where he's like, yo, you need to write down your whole schedule for me, even your weekend. And there was a little switch that went off in my brain,
right.
And that was it. That's just what happens to me. Once something goes a certain point, I'm done and I'm ready to figure out what's the next step.
Well, it's weird that you mentioned that, because if you would have went into that salary role, right? I've been in corporate life, I've been a part of corporate jobs. It's kind of how it is. Maybe not the weekend, but 9 to 5. What are you doing exactly all throughout the day? So you avoided one bullet, right? And then you go into this venture, and now you're kind of getting a lot of the same that would have been. So it only makes sense for you to, I'm going to make my own culture, right?
Yeah. So it was a little scary. I had about 35K in the bank. I just bought a house. Had, I think, 2 car payments and 4 kids.
Yeah.
And I put $29,500 into the new company. Mm-hmm. So before I did my first job, I had $500 in the bank. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
No safety net. I just went. But sometimes that's what you got. I just knew it would work. I built my shop with 5 spray booths, or three spray booths to do 5 jobs. That's how I started the business. That's my vision.
You were already thinking, I'm doing X amount of jobs a week.
Done.
And that was going to happen
Yeah.
no matter what.
So like, and then everything just happened in a really nice flow. Like I got, jobs right away, and then someone would call me, "Hey Alex, can I come work with you?" Sure. Are you done with that other place? Yeah. No, I'm done. I don't want to work there anymore. So it's just like people kept coming, so I had to get more jobs, and I just started building. So within like 6 months, Cabinet Coating Kings was doing 6 jobs a week, and in my first year, I did over $1 million.
Yeah. And then a lot of the things that people struggle with are hiring people, right? Having the right people. What do you think allowed you to have people come to you and say, "Hey, I want to work for you, right? I see the potential. I want a shot at this, what you're building." Why do you think that is?
Well, it was the culture. It was I preach HFEV, highest frequency energy vibrancy, but that's on each individual. Even like anyone that comes into Cabinet Coating Kings and asks me what they expect of them, I always tell them, I expect you to be your most phenomenal person. Now that's up to them how phenomenal they want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know if they're the best they can be, I'm gonna get the best from them.
Yeah.
If I try to make them the best, it's just gonna be pushback, right? So I wanted to have an open culture, but definitely with high standards. So if they weren't able to be adults and be accountable and get the jobs done, they didn't work for me.
Yeah. And it's funny that you brought that up, and you basically are investing in them to help you grow this business, but also like see where they could go within it.
Yeah.
And now you have somebody, Eli, who's in Texas, one of the owners for Cabinet Coating Kings, literally started out as a helper.
Yeah, he help degreasing, sanding doors every day. That's all he did.
Right.
And now he's out in Dallas, killing it.
A whole nother location. I think last time we were checked, booked out for probably 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So doing really good. Would you say, let's go back to like when you first started, what would be like a good budget for somebody starting a business, looking to do 3 to 5 plus jobs a week? What do they need for an initial investment, for a safety net? What do you think, numbers wise?
I mean, first you gotta have someone who can show you the way. But honestly, I'll be straight up. I built it like with phenomenal energy, and I would say I'd be the first one to tell you I would never build it the way I did. Aiden came in, phenomenal human being, and helped me like tweak it, systemize it. I had a lot of other people who came in and helped systemize the business, how it is now. And, I would say I would advise someone to definitely get like a mentor on the way up, someone who's done it before. And then you definitely want to have like a nice 50K.
50K.
Yeah. But like, it depends what type of person.
Yeah, if I'm a grinder, if I'm somebody that like, look,
you're gonna get it done no matter what.
Let me get it done. I can sell. I can, for the most part, figure some stuff out. Just need maybe a good crew up front.
You need like, I would say 10, 20K.
And what does that consist of? Break that down. Like,
so
I need a van for the guys. I need sprayer equipment.
It depends how you want to do it. You could get some
subcontractor
who has their own. I like to build it and build the culture.
Yeah.
So I like to have my guys, and I like to build them up and have them do spray and learn the technique the way
more of the employee route.
Right.
Okay.
But so that when they're doing the cabinets, it's very meticulous. So if they learn it that way, then they're not thinking they're doing extra.
Gotcha.
Sometimes you get to 1099 and they just like skip corners, and it's like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure we all can relate to that.
So, there's 2 advantages. Now you could stick with the person doing the job, be there all the time and train them, and that's another way.
Yeah.
But I would say, if you're going to go employee route, you need the van. So, you buy a van that's probably like $5K down.
All the equipment.
$500 a month. All the equipment and the shop, probably another $5K. So that's $10K in. And then you want to start
payroll, that kind of stuff, safety net.
Yeah. So I would say like $20K to like if you're a hustler and you're going to like go get it.
Yeah.
If you want to like kind of take your time and
build the business a little bit.
I would say 50 would be a little better.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Obviously, there was a need for cabinet painting, right? Like, price of lumber, wood, like high-end construction is through the roof right now. You've been able to build a business that is consistently, I think in the last 7 days, we had 50 leads come in from Facebook, Google, word of mouth, you name it. How are you capitalizing on that demand right now? Like, what is the pitch to the customer on why they should paint their cabinets rather than replace them?
So obviously educating the customer is important, right? That's the first thing that a lot of customers don't know what's possible. And then the other thing is definitely making sure they know what products should be used, because there's a lot of painting companies out there who think they can paint cabinets but have no idea. And we're actually doing like 2 or 3 redos a week from other companies out of our 7 jobs. So definitely educating. We're capitalizing just because right when I first started the company, it was all about branding.
Mm-hmm.
So we're within our 5th year, and we have 500 5-star reviews on 3 different platforms. My main mission for this company was, for the customers.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be there for the customers. I want to make sure we have the utmost standard and ethics and professionalism when we come in. So that's what's really kept us on top, and that's how we're capitalizing on this boom in cabinet painting.
And what's good is obviously every house has a cabinet set, multiple cabinet sets, right? So you're not only doing the kitchen, we're doing the bathroom, we're doing any big entertainment centers that may need refinishing if there's something that they want to keep in their house. What do you feel like has been the biggest thing for you to say this is as quality as replacing your cabinets? Is it the coatings itself? Is it your process?
Yeah, our process is basically the factory finish, honestly, because we use in the primer we have a hardener, and we tint the primer to whatever color the customer wants, and then we have a hardener in the paint, so we use the 2K system on the primer and the paint. So basically what that does is it gives us longevity, and it shouldn't really be chipping unless the customer's just getting a little too wild in the kitchen. But I'm so confident in our process and product that when I go in there, I charge what I charge because we have I would say the superior product and team, and customers love us, and that's how we get all the business we do.
And then from the products you use, are they Sherwin-Williams? Are they Ben Moore? Have you seen results with those? Do you go another avenue?
Yeah, we've tested those out, and I would say that it's more like amateur. Sherwin-Williams has a pretty decent one, but I would say after using Milesi, Renner, those top-notch products, you really can't go back from that.
So local paint stores are out of the question?
No, I would never. Like I said, the Sherwin-Williams product is decent. Maybe you want to start there, but you definitely want to get to the point where you can research and develop and get the Renners, the Milesi, the Centurion. Those are the top notch that are gonna give you the beautiful finish and the longevity that customers are looking for.
Yeah, I think what I've seen, because I come from a regular painting company background, right? We do interiors, exteriors, we cabinets, but it's not to the extent of you guys. But when you're looking at a paint store, a local paint store, cabinet paint, you're dealing with a 1K system, which is basically there's no hardener, no mixing of the paint, right? I think top of the line for Sherwin-Williams right now is the gallery product, which is fairly new, so there's mixed reviews. But when I was painting cabinets, we were using emerald urethane.
Right? A lot of people do.
And it's that's where you start out, right? And it felt for me dang, I know this is going to be a good finish, right? Customers are going to be super happy. But for you guys, you're laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a contractor that's trying to win a job over you using that paint, it's basically a home run for you guys,
Yeah, if I show up to the house and you're in anywhere close to my price range, you're not winning. It's just we created this beautiful sales system, right? We go in, we show samples, we walk the customer through everything, and then we show up with a ton of confidence because we've trained the guys. All our guys worked for us 3 to 5 years. We have a culture of openness. I give them space to be their best self, so when they go into the job, they actually want to do the job. You got to develop a great culture where people want to stay and do the highest quality job, or you're not going to last. Because in cabinet painting, after the year, if you're not doing a good job, you're going to get non-stop calls for touch-ups. I promise you that. That's the one people get excited about cabinets. Oh, look at this price point, it looks pretty, we're getting a lot of money from it. Once they do it for 6 months to a year, if they're not doing it right, they feel the pain.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because like with the product, I'm technically doing the same process, right? I'm sanding everything down, I'm degreasing, I'm filling holes with Bondo, but I'm using an inferior product. So even though you're charging way more and making way more, my decision to get that paint store local paint is kind of killing me, right?
Yeah.
So just wanted to kind of put
Well,
that.
that's the one thing you don't know any better.
Yeah, no, that's
You know,
very
so
true.
a lot like a lot of people. I like to try to help people out and try to give people educate anyone because I don't like going to houses and seeing messed up kitchens
Yep.
where I have to fix it. Like I feel bad for the customer.
Mhm.
They're just like, look at these cabinets; they're terrible.
Yeah.
So the education for the community
Mhm.
is great.
Renner and these other companies, they're not like household names either.
No.
So when you start spitting these, random names to these people, they're kind of just like, okay, like sounds good. I need my things painted, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the things you started doing was using a pamphlet to really educate their customers, and you send them an email with the link to the pamphlet, so they're double educated, right? Before you even get there.
And we send them, like videos of us shooting with the Malezi so they can look up the Malezi if they want. So yeah, the main thing is when you're showing up, they need to know why they're paying what they're paying, right? Why are you this much more, and why am I going to pay you, and then how they going to trust that you're going to provide a phenomenal finish, and it's going to last.
Yeah.
So I try to throw as much information towards them as possible before I show up.
Yeah.
And then when I do, I provide my energy to the customer so they could trust me.
When it comes to like a 2K system, right? You got to find a supplier. You got to find somebody who can actually distribute, right? You don't want to be delivering and having the paint like shipped to you, but if you have to, it is what it is. One of the convenience of getting that one part paint is because you can pick it up at any time of the day. Do you have a supplier like that right now?
Yeah, so we have a supplier. There's a couple in Orlando, so it just depends where you're at. There's a couple different paint companies or coating companies that I would suggest, and then you just need to find out which ones are around you and then kind of see which one you like the best. But that's how you just go through that. There's someone around you.
Mm-hmm.
There's always one of these paint companies around. There's always a Renner, Centurion
that are willing to
Malezi.
Negotiate too.
Yeah, they're willing to negotiate sometimes. It just depends
how much business.
Like we do 7 jobs a week. We're ordering 20, 30 gallons a week.
Yeah.
I have a little more clout than other people, but you want to get, that's what, if you're gonna do cabinets serious, you need to get the like the Italian coating, a Renner, Centurion, a Malezi, something on that level, or you're just gonna run into a whole big mess. And if you want to provide the customer with the best and have the best name and quality, that's what you have to step yourself up to.
Now these 2K systems, I'm assuming they're a lot more expensive than just the regular local stuff.
Well, yeah, because you're buying the hardener and the paint.
Right.
So it's gonna run up a little bit.
Are your margins a lot more, like less, because you have to buy so much more in supplies, or do you see just because you charge so more it evens out?
Well, now I don't charge that much more, but yeah, we put the ticket up a little bit. The thing with the paint, when you put the hardener in it, it's done. So it's not like you can save the paint, right? Unless you have a cross link or something like that. But it's worth it, right? Like the people will pay for that. Like you got to be confident. You got to know this is what I'm able to charge, and this is what I can get, right? You got to believe in yourself. That's the whole thing of selling. You need to go to the house, know what you provide, know what you can get, and you've seen it. We get 10 jobs a week, 15 jobs a week, 20 jobs a week, sometimes less, but I'm just saying we've had 20 job weeks just for cabinets. So, we do it.
Stuff.